What's up, my people? And welcome back to another episode of Keeping It Real with your host, Ijaz Rahman. Today we're gonna discuss a very serious topic. It's gonna be about how the media industry deals and treats people who are like sexual predators, but they have high power in the media industry, and how they mostly get away with crimes like these. So yeah, I'm going to be joining in with a guest in the second half of this podcast. And yeah, if you like this video and want to see more, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, as it really helps my channel growth. Also, follow me on all social medias, which is Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and Twitter, so you won't miss an update for when I make a video. And yeah, with that all the way, let's get into this video. Obviously, in the media industry, there's been many types of people who are obviously done horrific things such as rape and like a bunch of horrible stuff that are in high positions of power in the media industry, and how they've been doing a lot of fucked up shit during their lives during as like a big person in the Hollywood. But when the truth came out, and like they are all exposed for the shit that they done, most of them usually get a slap on the wrist and get the not even pay the consequences that they endured on themselves. And the victims of the perpetrators are usually don't get justice that they deserved, and they are scarred for life of what the perpetrators have done to them. And there's been many types of like sexual scandals in media industry, from ranges some such as sexual harassment to more bigger things like rape. The first person I want to discuss about it is a person called Dan Schneider. Now, that name might sound familiar to you because he's a big producer who's made like kids shows. And he made many like memorable like kids shows like Keenan and Kel, Drake and Josh, iCarly, the Amanda Show, and just many more that has been in our childhood lives. But he was then accused of being treating his co-workers on set and behind the scenes terribly, being sexist to women co-workers, and being being a piece of shit. He would also be accused of putting like sexual innuendos into his kids TV shows, just for his own like amusement and for his own liking. And he has been gone away with it recently, but that all changed ever since there's this documentary called Quiet on Set, which tells the dark side of like kids shows, and how there are many predator groups in those kids shows. Like, for example, different types of crew members and co-stars were talking about how weird he was around them, and how there are a bunch of all evil shit that they had to do in order to be one of his favorites, meaning that they would get like more screen time. Same thing happened to Amanda Bynes, where he treated her as a favorite, and she managed to get a show like be one of those popular kids actors that was seen on set back in the day. So once the documentary was out, Dan Schneider was already retired from Nickelodeon, and he wasn't producing any more like TV shows. But he made a video on his like YouTube channel, and where he was interviewed by not even when I say not even a journalist, and I shit you not, yeah, the guy from iCarly, like T-Dog or Tebow, yeah. Tebow, the guy, and he was interviewed by him, and he was just saying, oh, how much he said that all of this is just a big misunderstanding, and he apologized to most of the victims of his like TV in his TV shows, where he felt that he was putting them into a lot of pressure and how he made them comfortable, and he just apologized. He didn't get like sued or like he didn't get arrested for anything. He just got just made an apology video, a really shit one at best, considering the fact that it wasn't even talking about more of the deeper topics, like why did he do this, and like what did he say about other like child actors he done this before. Yeah, so it's a pretty shit like pit to be in, since most of the victims like Amanda Bynes and the girl who played Sam in iCarly did not get like their justice that they deserved, and they made books and like the reliving the traumas they had on the set. And yeah, it's pretty like a shit like a shitty situation, because they didn't get justice, and now this guy wouldn't even face like repercussions for what he did for his crime did to those children. But on lighter topics, there's another producer, not a TV show producer, but a film producer called Harvey Weinstein. You probably never heard of him, but he was one of like the biggest film producer. Like he produces many good films like Django, Scream, and at one point, if you look at his IMDb page and see all the films he produced, you most likely recognize one of them. Hell, one of them could be one of your favorite films of all time. He did, and yeah, he was like a very respected like person in the media industry, all up until there was a lot of women and like victims who came forward and talked about the evil shit that Harvey Weinstein did, and how he would rape the women, and to keep her quiet he would either threaten them with like getting them blacklisted from Hollywood, or just bribe them with a bunch of money so they shut their mouth and wouldn't speak on it. And he's been doing it for a long time, pretty much during his peak in the film industry, and ever since the allegation came out, he's been kicked off of his like production team and no longer the head of it. He's also been blacklisted by the Oscars and like the Golden Globes and all these other like big time award shows. And there's been many actors coming forward saying how they disowned him and how they're no longer gonna work on different projects to him. Then finally, he was then brought to trial, where he was sentenced to I believe 28 years in jail, which is pretty understandable considering what he done to like hundreds of different women actors and actresses. Yeah, but even though like he is still in jail, there's been reports about his lawyers trying to decrease his sentence or get him out of jail, using the fact that he's a changed man, he's better himself, but he just made a mistake, and how he doesn't deserve to live the rest of his life in jail, which to me personally, I don't think that's kind of scummy, because think about all the other victims. What about their victims and how they're dealing with the trauma, and how obviously they got their justice. I mean, they got what they deserve, but that won't be enough to move on from the trauma they witnessed working with Harvey Weinstein. So yeah, that's just like a bit of a like shitty situation. And yeah, if obviously my personal opinion is like he should stay in prison. for what he did, and I feel like he should have like gotten like the death sentence, considering how he's just been getting away with it for years on end because of how powerful he is, and like how if you have money you can like get away with crimes, and that's what he's trying to do. So yeah, that I just feel like he should be sentenced to either life in prison or the death sentence. Well, this was the first half of this podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. Now we're gonna move on to the second half of the podcast, where I'm gonna be getting a guest, the personal friend of mine, to discuss like the different topics that we've been talking about during this episode. So yeah, make sure you see that. We're gonna do that right after break. So yeah, make sure to come back after break. If you want to see more updates on my videos, go on my Instagram, TikTok, and all my social medias, so you can get more early updates on when I release like a video. So yeah, I'll see you after the short ad break, and yeah, welcome back to the show. I hope you enjoyed. You got time after our break to get snacks and drinks, because it's gonna be really entertaining. So obviously I'm joined with a good friend of mine, Norris, and yeah, he's a very good friend of mine. He helped me on very different projects, and yeah, very good to have him on the show. How have you been, Norris?
I've been alright, man.
You been alright?
Been very good, yeah.
Okay.
I was very excited to be on the Keeping It Real podcast.
Yeah.
Because I've seen a few episodes in the past, and I thought, it's one of those podcasts where you look at it and you're like, oh, it's not going to be good, but the topics are really, really good.
Yeah.
And it really keeps you entertained. So
Yeah.
And also you're a friend of mine, so I'm always going to support you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Norris. Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously, let's get ahead with the questions. I'm gonna give you some questions so we can like discuss about the topics.
Yeah.
So obviously, a very simple one. Are you like, how big of like a movie/TV show fan are you?
Okay. Yeah, I'm a big movie fan. Just, I study media, so I study creative media and technology, same course as you.
Yeah.
To get into the film industry has always been my career path, because I've always liked movies. Movies have always entertained me. Ever since I was younger, it's just always been something I enjoyed. TV, not as much. I'm assuming by that question you mean like children's TV shows. Yeah, I've seen quite a few. Grew up with watching Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon and all of that shebang, so yeah, I am familiar with it.
Yeah, I enjoyed like Nickelodeon and other films. My favorite films like Batman Begins. Very good film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Christopher Nolan. He's a very good director.
Yeah, he's a very good director. Yeah.
Have you seen his latest one, Oppenheimer?
I've heard about it. I haven't seen it, but I heard it's really good.
It's really good, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like you'll really like it.
Okay. Alright. So, yeah, the next question is, obviously, since the topic's about how the media industry deals with, sexual predators and high positions of power, and how they usually get away with it.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you something about. Have you watched like the latest like documentary? I say latest, but it came out like last year, I think.
So it is latest.
Yeah, latest, but not as latest as like
Well, we did just start this year, Ijaz, so.
Yeah. There was this documentary that was released called Quiet on Set.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was wondering.
The one you've told me to watch.
Yeah, I told you to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, I've finally seen it. It's a documentary that it gives you. I can't really say it gives you an insight on the topic, because if you're a viewer who is entertained by that sort of thing, then you're already gonna know most of the details about it. But I think what it does really well is that it takes all of the people who have gone through these issues and pretty much interviews them, like asks them questions and how it was filming on certain sets. They really touched on the Nickelodeon aspect, which I thought
Yeah,
was really good.
it's kind of like a big thing Nickelodeon, cause they have produced many of like memorable like kid shows.
Mm.
You obviously I mentioned Drake and Josh, Kenan and Kel, iCarly, and a whole bunch more.
Mm.
So yeah, those it's kind of crazy how some of those same child actors that I known and watch are on
Yeah.
this documentary talking about what they went through as a when working on set. So it's kind of crazy. I also got surprised and shocked about the Drake Bell interview
Mm.
of how
Yeah.
he went through like what he went through was horrible, and like how no child should go through that, and how obviously the system failed him because his dad was there numerous times to warn about this persons are very like not a good person,
Yeah.
but they kind of shrugged it off and saying, oh, he's just being like homophobic, which is kind of crazy to me because
Yeah. Sorry. Continue.
yeah, it's kind of crazy since he was called like being homophobic for trying to defend his son
Yeah.
by this man, and yeah,
I thought it was interesting when you said about Drake Bell saying that it was one of the worst experiences in his life and children shouldn't go through that. But I could have sworn he had some cases relevant to child endangerment.
yeah, I feel
And-
like that's the thing. Yeah, even though I don't condone his like actions when it comes to like child endangerment, but you can't help but feel like
And obviously that thing where he had sex with a student that was
Ye-
like
yeah,
really, really young. Obviously I think it was legal, but it's still one of those things that's just weird.
yeah, it's still weird.
It's just weird. And it kind of makes you think the film industry, like the industry of Hollywood and in your case Nickelodeon kids shows,
yeah.
how many of these producers, directors, people behind the camera, how many of them are just lying just to get themselves out of these situations?
Yeah.
Like Dan Schneider's segment was really good. Have you seen the first interview he did after the allegations and everything?
Yeah.
It was a YouTube interview, I'm pretty sure, but it was really good video. He had like a beard and everything.
Yeah.
He apologized and said that everything he did was wrong, but it kind of was relatively obvious that he only apologized just because he got caught.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes him like a
Like-
piece of shit of a human being.
Yeah, because if I feel like yeah, you apologize, but why didn't you apologize sooner? Like,
Exactly. Why didn't you stop the shit you did?
yeah.
Like you didn't. You literally kept it going and made. Even though this is gonna sound bad, even though I must praise him for creating amazing TV shows. Like
Yeah.
iCarly and Victorious are amazing TV shows. He's
Yeah.
really good at what he does. It's just unfortunate that he's the type of person he is behind the camera, or closed curtains. Because he has a pretty successful career. I have a feeling that if it wasn't for the shit that he did that made him such a creep, I have a feeling he would have been one of the most iconic like children's
Yeah.
TV show filmmakers of all time. He probably is now, but I don't think he deserves a platform after the shit he's done and the amount of the countless of actors and actresses' lives he's ruined.
Yeah. Since I talked about in my first of the podcast P Diddy, and so I was just wanting to know about what your thoughts about the whole P Diddy case trial, and how you feel about it.
Well, what is there to say except for I hope he gets a sentence, like a
I
fucking
mean,
life sentence.
Yeah.
Like the shit he's done is unimaginable and kind of expected, it kind of goes to show what happens when you have too much money, fame and power,
Yeah.
Like look at it in the films. You have characters who like the villains are extremely overpowered physically, right? Like they have big attributes. For
Yeah.
example, like a Marvel film, you have characters like I don't know, Thanos, right? He's physically powerful, right? But in the real life industry where it's not a film, it's behind what's going on in the camera and the industry, you have people with so much rich and fame that they can pretty much do whatever they want.
Yeah.
They can bribe you. They can give you money, be like, yeah, you're going to be my slave now. You're going to be my sex slave. You're going to do this and that.
Yeah.
It's disgusting, but that's the truth. With that much money and fame, you can do literally anything you
Yeah, a
want.
very good example of this is one of Diddy's ex-girlfriend, Casey.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure she was like a rapper, and once when they were dating, Diddy was very like abusive towards her, both verbally and physically.
Yeah.
And there was a CCTV like footage camera
Yeah.
that captured. It was in like a hotel room. It captured Diddy beating her up, and just shouting at her.
Oh, yeah, I think I've heard about that, yeah.
Yeah. And the one thing that's crazy to me that it was released now, but you could see on like in the corner that it took place in like years ago, like 10 years
Oh, yeah.
ago. And
That's the thing. Agents of many celebrities cover shit up. Like they tell they advise them. They're like, you shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do this. It could ruin your reputation. It could get you in jail. But they just cover it up because they're making money.
Yeah.
It's a chain. They're making profit. They know that if P. Diddy continues to release music and be in films and go to these fucking freak-offs or whatever the
Yeah.
hell they're called, that's going to get him money. That's going to get him fun. That's going to get him the pleasure he wants. And yeah, it's fucking disgusting, but it's
Yeah,
P.
man.
Diddy, I guess. I remember the fact that when I was a kid, I didn't really know much about P. Diddy. Like, I just knew that he was a rapper, and I knew he collabed with many other really good rappers.
That's the same to me. I never knew him like that.
Yeah, like he was a big influence to the hip hop industry, and I can tell that. And I remember when I was younger, I would watch films, and he would be referenced as jokes like
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Like even what was that one kids film with the CGI chipmunks? Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Alvin.
Yeah, I remember. In Alvin and the Chipmunks, they made a joke about P. Diddy,
Yeah.
and they referenced him, and it's just crazy how you look at that and you look how big of an influence he was, and then it gets revealed that he's just the worst.
Yeah.
It kind of separates two people in a way. It's like you have P. Diddy and then you have Sean Combs.
Yeah.
Sean Combs is the terrible individual that he is, who uses money and power to influence his like dark desires, and P. Diddy is just that rapper,
Yeah.
that very popular rapper that everyone knew back in the day and
Yeah.
probably knows now. Shit, some people probably don't even know what's going on with Diddy.
Yeah.
Some people probably still think that Diddy is one of the greatest rappers. They stand by
Yeah.
their point.
I mean, even like listen to his songs, it's alright. It wasn't that great.
It's just like pop rap,
Yeah.
rap pop.
Yeah.
It's alright. Yeah. But his music isn't. I don't really care about his music because I never have cared about his music. I remember I used to listen to a lot of songs where he was featured,
Yeah.
but his own personal projects and songs, not really. I just knew him as just he's that guy that was like when Alvin said, "Oh my God, I got fur like P. Diddy" or whatever the hell he said. Yeah, no, it's fucking weird.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Alright, so final question is,
Final question already.
yeah, I mean,
Quick, man.
yeah, listen, it's taking long, and I feel like, we've had many long discussions on this, so I feel like very informative to the audience.
Yeah. So
yeah,
you're on a time schedule. No more.
yeah. Have you ever thought that all these people we mentioned, like P. Diddy, Dan Schneider, and all these other terrible people, do you think that their victims ever get the justice that they deserved, or they are just outcast, and blacklisted in the media industry? I know that's
Well, in the end, they do, don't they?
I mean, yeah,
Like we could bring up examples for days, but in the end, they do. At some point, they will get the justice they deserve. Not all of them, because unfortunately, that isn't their jurisdiction. Like, they could say, "Oh, I want Dan Schneider to have his head cut off. I want Brian Peck to get his Peck. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. You can have like the victims could be like, I want this fucker to get treated like Jeffrey Dahmer, right?
Yeah.
But he's not going to,
Yeah.
right? They're not going to, because sometimes the justice system in multiple countries like USA, England, just the whole UK in general, and other European countries, they're just not going to let you. Like,
Yeah.
the justice system is not going to satisfy your needs. They're going to actually look at it as a lawful way and be like, oh, he hasn't done this many crimes, so he doesn't get jail time. Did Dan Schneider even get jail time?
I don't think he did.
Brian Peck got jail time. He got released. What did he do? He appeared on another fucking show.
Yeah.
Like, he literally appeared on Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. He played a mirror who examined children.
Yeah, that is like.
It's stupid. Yeah. And again, I think it all just comes down to money. So not necessarily, but there are some people who do get their justice.
Yeah.
I think a key example is Jeanette McCurdy.
Yeah.
She really got her justice. Like, not only did she have problems prior to the stuff that happened on Nickelodeon with her eating disorder, her mother, but it's also the fact that she managed to talk about her problems in public, managed to explain what was going on, and now is doing her own thing. Like, I don't know if she still does acting, but she now has a very popular book.
Yeah.
Have you read it? Have you heard of it?
I heard of it.
Really good book. She now has a YouTube channel where she makes music and other stuff. Yeah, some of them branch out. Obviously, Ariana Grande, she was a big victim. Like, she had her feet shown. She did sexual positions, like inappropriate.
I don't feel like she. I wouldn't say she didn't know about it, but I feel like she was very gullible to it.
Probably, but in the end, she's the Grammy singer, not Dan Schneider. She's the #1 Billboard singer on many, many different charts. She's the popular icon in the pop industry, and Dan Schneider right now is probably sleeping at home with like a bunch of cans and empty food bags around him, just being a fat lazy shit because he can't do anything now because he no longer has a platform. If he still does, that's fucking disgusting. I hope he doesn't, but I don't think he does. So yeah.
Well, that's all we have today for this podcast. Obviously, if you enjoy this content, make sure to like and subscribe to.
Pow! Smash it! Smash that like button!
Yeah.
And subscribe button!
Yeah. It really helps with my channel growth and, help me build up a community in my YouTube channel. Also, as always, if you want to see more updates, go on to my Instagram, my Twitter, and all my social medias. See more updates, and I'll do a giveaway soon, so that'll be exciting.
Woo!
So, yeah. Hope you enjoy watching this video, and as always, thank you for keeping it real. Peace.